I think we all could have guessed that I would get more toxic in 2026. For the last 2 years, at the end of the year, I have been compiling a little bit of data about the decks that I played throughout the year to see kind of how I have changed, a la Spotify Wrapped, but in this case, Magic the Gathering Wrapped. This will be my 3rd year doing it, and I find it really interesting seeing how I've changed as a Magic player, see how maybe my playstyle has changed, maybe how my deck tastes have changed. So I went through all of the decks that are currently in my Commander bag, which is the bag that I take to Commander Night every Tuesday at my local game store. I've listed them all out as with the CMC, the colors, the theme of the deck, and does it contain a vampire and does it contain a dinosaur, because I am very notorious for trying to slip a vampire into every deck that I can. So if you are curious about last year's decks and the year before, I will have those videos linked. I will reference last year's data a little bit. I have a proper spreadsheet for it for this year and last year. I do not have a spreadsheet for the year before, or if I do, I've lost it. It's somewhere in the internet, I just cannot find it. So last year I had in my Commander bag, one second, I'll show you what we're working with. This will also be interesting because I have definitely added more pins to my Commander bag, so we can compare those as well. So this is my Commander bag now. There are definitely more pins from the conventions I went to this year, and then this is new, I'm pretty sure. This is new because that's from Tarkir. I don't know, we'll have to compare the bags, but this is my Commander bag that I take to the game store every Tuesday. And last year I had 14 decks in there, and I kind of had to cram them in there, but I fit 14 decks in there. This year, or as of last night when I was compiling this data, I had 10 decks in there. But last year, my most played color was green. And as a surprise to no one, I think, my most played colors this year were blue and white, the control player that I am. So this year's decks, I had a few overlap from last year. So this year we had Edgar Markov, Galton Maverin, the 10th Doctor, and Rose Tyler, and the Goose Mother, which were the same decks that I had in here around this time last year, which I did just update what decks I had in here because I was kind of getting tired of playing the same decks. So when they're not in play, they're back here. So Hear Me Out got taken out recently, and Gav's Guild Scorch got taken out recently, but they'll find their way back in, I'm sure. I'll play these ones till I get tired of them, then I'll swap them out. New this year, we have Captain America, Marina Vendrell, which is Duskmourn Commander, is a deck I made for Duskmourn. Mr. Negative, which was the deck I made for Spider-Man. Loot Exuberant Explorer, which I like to make decks of the people I cosplay, and since almost unfortunately Loot is probably my most viewed cosplay, it made sense that I should have a deck for that. And then new as of like last week, Tegwell, Duke of Splendor it's the Wilds of Eldraine Fairies precon that I have upgraded slightly to make the Oops All Flyers deck that I'm always threatening. Oh, and I had the Misty Stepper, which is a playtest card that was made for me as part of Gavin Very's Unknown event at MagicCon Las Vegas, which I was not in attendance, but people sent me the picture and they're like, look, they made you a card. So it took me until MagicCon Atlanta to get my hands on one. After I did finally get one, I built the deck, which is a counterspell and copies theme. I love a counterspell. I am toxic mono blue bitch like that, and copies because I am a cosplayer, so I thought it fit the theme that I'm kind of turning into these other creatures. And the idea is that I can copy other people's best creatures, and then I also have those best creatures. So it's even, it's fair casual Magic. Out of all of these decks, 30% of them contained vampires, which is less than last year, where 42% of my decks, which there were more decks, but last year 42% of my decks contained vampires. This year it was only 30, which there should be a vampire in the Misty Stepper, I believe. I feel like that would fit my vibe, but unfortunately there are not blue vampires. There's blue-black vampires, like he's right here. Runo is a blue-black vampire, but this is a mono-blue deck. I am a mono-blue commander, so we're stuck with no vampires in the Misty Stepper. But 30% of my decks do have vampires in them. 30% also have dinosaur cards in there. There are no dinosaurs in the Misty Stepper. We'll work on that, but the Misty Stepper does have a Jurassic Park card in the Dino DNA card. So I kind of counting that, kind of not counting that. And I had 2 mono-colored decks. The Misty Stepper is a mono-blue and Loot is a mono-green. Yeah, 40% of my decks were 2 colors. And then I had some 3 colors. I do love a 5-color moment. So Marina Vendrell is a Wooburg commander. And I usually try to keep a Wooburg deck on me at all times because I I like the challenge of it, of trying to get all your colors out. I enjoy playing that a lot. So in addition to these decks, I try to make a deck for each set that comes out to kind of explore those mechanics and the new things that come out with that deck. So I have also, in addition to my spreadsheet, I have some handwritten notes of the decks that I made for this year. So I did not do this for every set this year. There were some Universes Beyond that I just don't really mess with because I'm not in that fandom. And then Edge of Eternities was just hit in a weird place in this year where I just didn't have the energy and the time to build a deck. So I did really want to build something with spaceships because I like that mechanic. So Innistrad Remastered was at the beginning of this year. There were no like original decks, but there were lots of upgrades for Edgar Markov and Runo because they both exist on that plane. Aether Drift, I did not make a commander deck, but I did have a small foray into standard. I don't play much standard. I'm mostly a commander girly, but I did make a Go Fast Goblins mono red. I didn't make a commander deck. I upgraded a precon. Aether Drift came out with a precon of a zombie typal that I upgraded and played for a while. It's back here somewhere. So I guess I didn't make that deck, but I upgraded it. The only deck I made was the standard zombies. That didn't do well in standard. I've never been good at standard, but it was fun. That's all I really want out of a deck, for it to be fun, even if I can't win, which a lot of times I don't win. Dragons of Tarkir had a couple of decks. I built the Dragon because I've wanted to build a dragon deck for a long time, and I've been like slowly pulling cards for a dragon deck and like keeping them aside, but I didn't have a good commander for it. But then with Dragons Tarkir, I finally got an Dragon. I don't know if I bought it or I had one, but the influx of dragons made it seem like the great time to build a dragon typal deck. So I did build that. That's another WUBRG deck. I love a WUBRG moment, as I said. And also I built Kotis. Are you Kotis? That's this one. Kotis I always forget. Kotis the Fangkeeper I built for Dragons of Tarkir. That one comes with a bit of a story. I was streaming the early access event for Dragons of Tarkir, which you can find on here. I think most of the time I post those streams, and someone in my chat tried to type Kotis the Fangbearer, and for some reason I can't remember exactly, but it auto-corrected to like Kotis the Rotisserie or something like that, and I just thought that was really funny because that is really funny. I'm like, all right, I gotta build a Kotis the Rotisserie deck, and it's actually a little bit of a powerhouse. It's an indestructible commander that steals things from other people. I made some people at my game store very mad with it, and I like it a lot, so that was a very good deck for me. Final Fantasy, I did not touch at all. I have one Final Fantasy card. This is my one Final Fantasy card that was given to me by a friend. I think that's the only Final Fantasy card. Oh no, the Misty Stepward has a water stone or water gem or water crystal or something in it. Okay, so I have like 2 cards, but I did not buy any Final Fantasy. I don't play Final Fantasy. I didn't touch that at all. No decks there. Edge of Eternities, again, I wanted to build something with spaceships and get there. That's okay. You can't do them all. Spider-Man, I built Mr. Negative, which was a really, well, actually, I kind of built 2 decks. So we'll start with Mr. Negative. That one I enjoy a lot because it's a fun mechanic. Basically, what he does is when he enters the battlefield, he swaps your life total with another person's life total. So basically what that deck is I'm pinging myself for damage, I'm letting people hit me, I'm getting my life total really down low, and then I'm swapping it with somebody else, which has been really fun because I've had a couple games where I girl bossed a little too close to the sun, and I'm like, I could very much kill myself on the next turn if I'm not careful, so I need to, with like upkeep triggers like Dark Confidant and stuff, things where like you reveal the top card right at the beginning of your turn, and if I just get something with a mana cost too high, it's over. But that's been a lot of fun, a little bit of a gamble. It's different than what I usually play, and I love a unique mechanic. I've also built, this one wasn't specifically for Spider-Man. A friend of mine, MTG Baron, started this little, I don't know what to call it, an event, an activity with a bunch of our creator friends where we build commander decks with only cards we get at conventions. It's a convention commander deck. So the one convention I've been to this one Magic convention since he started this was Atlanta, which was very heavily Spider-Man. So I had a lot of Spider-Man boosters to open. I did I think it was just pre-release, or maybe it was just like a limited event with MTG Nerd Girl where I got some more cards, and I did trade a little bit. We were allowed to buy 1 card. I did not buy any cards for this one, but I think my 1 card, he's very weird with the rules, and I keep trying to break the rules. But I pulled a really good card. I saved most of that money, but I did buy myself a Spider-Man bundle. And out of that bundle, I pulled a Soul Stone. And I think the rules allow me to put the Soul Stone in the deck. At least I'm going to put the Soul Stone in that deck. I got it I think that counts as my 1 one purchase card. I don't know. He can yell at me about the rules later. I don't think I'm gonna win this thing anyway, but I'm gonna put my soul stone in there. Really cool, and I got it at, or no, it was something weird like, cause I pulled the Spider-Man the Spectacular Spider-Man that I sold. Cause I pulled that card and then used that money to buy the bundle, and I'm allowed to use the stuff from that bundle. I don't know. Take it up with Brendan. I'm gonna put the soul stone in there and you can't stop me. Is basically what I'm saying. So it's a Dr. Octopus blue-black villains deck that is almost done. I only need a couple more cards to make it a complete commander deck, and I will be at Shoebox before. We're gonna challenge each other with all these, put these to the test next Atlanta. So I will be in Shoebox and I will be at MagicCon Las Vegas, and then maybe something else before next Atlanta. So I have more opportunities to pick up more cards and maybe shift the deck if I pull something that is much better. And then for Avatar, I also did not build anything because I'm not in the Avatar fandom. I did do a pre-release, so I technically built a deck at the pre-release that didn't do super well. It was a white red allies and airbending, I believe, deck that didn't do super well, but so looking forward to next year. I'm really excited about Lorwyn. I have a feeling that's going to turn into an elf typal deck, but I could be surprised by a new mechanic that I'll want to build around. Strixhaven I'm also very excited about. I was surprised to see lessons return in Avatar as a mechanics. I assume those are going to come back in Strixhaven as well, and maybe I could do something with those, see how those work in a commander format, because in the first Strixhaven set, they didn't really work super well because they were like a card, the lessons were like a card outside of the game that you could play, and that doesn't jive in Commander. I'm also very excited, of course, for the Marvel set and the Heroes for Hire. I love my street level heroes. I'm looking forward to my Luke Cage and my Iron Fist, Misty and Colleen, and all of my faves, all my New York faves being on Magic cards. Editing Emma here. I don't know how I didn't mention potential Daredevil cards. With the Marvel heroes and like also with Heroes for Hire. Daredevil does a lot with both like the Avengers teams and Heroes for Hire and such, because everyone knows I'm kind of a lot obsessed with Daredevil, so obviously I'm very excited to get a Daredevil card other than like he gets a little cameo on Wedding Ring in the Spider-Man set, but I don't know how I missed talking about that in this video, but yeah, I'm very excited to see Daredevil next year. Just wanted to put that out there before everyone calls me out and like, hello? Yes, I understand. I missed out. I am very excited for Daredevil. Love that we're most likely going to get Daredevil Magic cards next year. I'm trying to remember what else is next year. I wasn't a Ninja Turtle girly, probably won't touch that. Not huge into The Hobbit, so I don't know how much of that I'll interact with, though I do have Lord of the Rings cards, so maybe I'll upgrade my Lord of the Rings decks. I have a Shelob deck that I built for that set, and also the Goose Mother does a lot with food tokens and hobbits and stuff. And then what else we got? We got like something called like Reality Shift or Reality Break or something that I don't know very much about at all. I know very little about most of these sets. I think we're gonna have a good year next year. I'm excited to see what all happens in universe, and then the couple of universes beyond that I'm actually interested in. So that was my MTG Wrapped this year. It turns out I am a toxic blue control girly, so I think we all saw that coming. Let me know what decks were your favorite that you built this year down in the comments. If you saw a change in your play style, how these sets affected you as a Magic the Gathering player. I would love to see more data outside of just my own, and then also predictions for next year. What do you think is gonna hit? What do you think is gonna whiff? I'm excited to see it all play out. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in next year's Wrapped, if not before, hopefully before. There's a lot of exciting things happening that I would like to make content about. But until then, I will see you next time. Bye.